Everybody, let's shame James for stalking some girl almost every day. Everybody, let's shame James. The way he cuts his hair, he deserves it anyway. Bugging this girl for almost 6 years. She doesn't like him, she's very clear. He can't give it up or let it go. Maybe he's a little slow. Everybody, let's shame James for stalking some girl almost every day. Everybody, let's shame James. The way he cuts his hair, he deserves it anyway. I remember a time when you'd say there was always fish in the sea, and we'd read the signs they're given and act accordingly. Everybody, let's shame James for stalking some girl almost every day. Everybody, let's shame James. The way he cuts his hair, he deserves it anyway. Everybody, let's shame James for stalking some girl almost every day. Everybody, let's shame James.
Booyah, bitches. You should have left Eliana the hell out of this crap.
Booyah! Welcome to part 3 of James Robert Clark III is not coping. You know, seems appropriate. 3 James Robert Clark the thirds and 3 parts to this episode. Hello everyone in the chat. Hello. Who is here? Hi Nightwind. And probably have Alicia. No, she's not here yet. Okay, so, you know what? Apparently you can't play Soulful Strut at 150%. You know what I'll do? I'll upload that shit to Odysee. Oh, god damn it. Because you know what? I hear Soulful Strut on, at 75% on Virgie's channel. And, it's gotten to where I like listening to Soulful Strut now at 75%. But then I listen to it at 150%. I'm thinking, oh shit, that's even peppier. Okay, so we've got 3 now. Okay. Yeah, everybody's coming in. Okay, so welcome back, everyone. I think, you know what also could have nuked the channel is, and it was YouTube that nuked it, is that I was playing from the Tartanomicon channel. So apparently YouTube does not like it when I'm playing from like YouTube itself. So, yee. Hey ASDSS, welcome. Yeah, I think let me share my screen here. Okay. And you know what? I'm just going to go, we'll skip trying to go in search of the golden clip for tonight. But I'm going to go into Adrasdea. Because she's got like 7 new videos. Okay, so now, hey, we've got 5 viewers. So we're starting to come back. It was definitely, for those of you just tuning in, it definitely was a copyright claim for playing Soulful Strut at 150%. Go fucking figure. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're going to play Adrasdea's videos. Hey, ASDSS, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, bud. How are you?
I'm doing great. I didn't have that bad of a night at work tonight. The only 2 calls I had for the adult diapers, one of them was kind of a depressing one because it's basically, they had to cancel the subscription because the person passed away, and I'm like, oh Jesus, okay, let's cancel it on behalf of everyone. We're, I'm very sorry about this, but we'll get this canceled for you. So yeah.
So now I figured it out. So you're the one who's responsible for getting Andy all those diapers.
Hey, you know what? I'm serious. Maybe we should try to hook him up with like a spokesperson gig for that, because that way they'll give him like free diapers. They'll give him like at least like 12 months supply. They'll give him a month supply every month for however long he needs them. They'll give him like the creams and the wipes, and they'll give him the gloves, and yeah, and all he'd have to do is just make a few commercials, which would probably appear on like Prices Right, maybe like 10 times a week. You know, you have one at like the 11:30 and then at the 11:55. Think about it, Andy. Think about it. Hey, you know what? I got to check in on you because I want to make sure that. Uh,
Yeah, Andy, the D in CBDX doesn't stand for diapers, but
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, Dark Summer. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a second.
decided that I'm gonna be thoughtful and helpful, and I'm gonna PayPal Mary as soon as I can figure out how you can PayPal a live hand grenade. I'm gonna PayPal.
Oh. Apparently, Sam has decided that he wanted to do some cooking. So, I'm going to go to Adrasdea here, and we'll just go ahead and play her videos. Hi, my Astra Theory Entropy. Okay. I'm going to play Adrasdea. Since I don't have any new Jimmy videos, and I can't play it from Tardanomicon because that apparently triggers a copyright warning. So,
And so now people are saying, well, we don't hold any accountability for sending people to your house because you didn't have to answer the door. No, I didn't. I didn't have to answer the phone all those times you called me either. But it's extremely hard for me to not answer a door or a phone because I genuinely believe that the person on the other side knows that I'm there and simply not answering, and they will get more angry if I don't respond. So no, I didn't have to answer the door, but I believed that the people on the other side of the door, regardless of who they were, knew that I knew they were there and would only get more angry and violent if I refused to answer. That's the way my brain works. Okay? You cannot control the way my brain works. That's how it is. If somebody comes to my door and knocks, I feel like I have to answer, or there will be extreme consequences for not doing so. You're the ones that are sending people to my apartment to harass me because you know that I'm mentally unwell and don't do well with visitors. You're blaming me for the way I react to circumstances that you are putting me in, purposely to bother and harass me. You could easily just not answer the door. I cannot. People are...
Mary, you remember how I said that your job now is video producer? Okay? You're sucking at your job right now because you failed on the lighting for this video. I mean, ASDSS, you remember how I said, did you catch the other day when I was saying how Mary says she doesn't work, she doesn't want to work, she doesn't have any kind of a job? And I said, well, Mary, you put a lot of thought and effort into setting up a steady cam, into setting up a background, into setting up a lighting, into setting up what you're going to say into the camera. You're a video producer now, Mary. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, what's also interesting is she talks about wanting to live in a cave and how she hates people and she's terrified of people, and then I flip over on a Virgie stream and I'm watching her in front of like 100 people doing karaoke. I mean, she's just constantly full of shit.
Yeah, yeah. And I watched a couple of these videos earlier today about how she just compares dry begging to actual begging, and that she says that she doesn't see any kind of similarities between what she's doing, as being wrong or anything like that. So I'm gonna go into this next video. Hatred springs eternal. Let people live. Mary, we don't hate you. We hate your lies. We hate your grifting. We hate you doing nothing while we have to pay for everything that you want. We have to be the ones fronting the charity that ends up paying for your weed and your rum. So
Are so hateful and judgmental these days. So, I suppose a lot of y'all have heard about the man who received the pig heart transplant recently. It was kind of a big deal. Just after he received the transplant, a woman came forward angry because this man had paralyzed her brother 20 years ago in a bar fight over a woman. He stabbed the man, and the man became paralyzed and died early because of the paraplegic situation. While I don't believe that it was right to stab the man, I also don't believe that it's right to be judging and punishing the man 20 years later. Because whatever it was that he did, he served his time for. You know? We all make mistakes in this life. But today, people like to hold those mistakes over your head for eternity and try to keep you from existing, even if you've paid your time for those mistakes. This man did something very wrong 2 decades ago. But to say that he doesn't deserve a heart, to say that he doesn't deserve to live because of what he did then, I don't know. It seems worse to me. It seems so judgmental and so hateful. And it is a project of our times where people they cannot let it go. They cannot feel any sort of peace for wrongs that are done to them. Even 20 years later, they'll still say that person doesn't deserve to live because they hurt me. They hurt somebody I knew. When they were drunk, when they were fighting, when people make rash decisions, which everybody does at some point in their life. And if your rash decision causes a murder, obviously you should be in jail. But not forever. Because even a life sentence is only about 30 years. Whatever it was that this man did, he has paid for. And he fully deserves the new life that he has been given. The woman whose brother he hurt will never see that and will spend the rest of her days saying that this man does not deserve his life.
I'm going to pause it here for a little bit. It took me a while to find it. First off, I apologize for the coughing in the background if you can hear that. For some reason, Sam decided that he had to start cooking something, and now apparently he's just, coughing all over the place, hopefully not on the food. And now he's in the other room giggling, watching a video. Hopefully that's not tying up the internet traffic here, and that's causing... Okay, so now we got 11 viewers here, so we are starting to come back online here. And I was watching the other day on Count Dankula's channel, where he was talking about Chopper on Absolute Mad Lads. Chopper was one criminal who he was dying of like leukemia, and they offered him treatment and he refused. He refused out of the respect for his the people that were killed because of his crimes, and he turned down medical treatment. So it's, I don't blame the person for taking the pig valve and the harp, and then it turns out that they have like, some kind of background to their history, and it's like, oh well, why did they get a pig valve? Because they probably, found redemption and they deserve a second chance. And good for them. Doctors thought that they were worthy of a second chance in terms of the pig valve. So, let the guy have his pig valve. I agree with Adrasdea on this one. But it is an interesting note that I wanted to point out that there are some criminals like Chopper in Australia who, when he was dying of leukemia, was given an opportunity for life-saving treatment and he turned it down. So it just depends on the circumstances for that.
That's tough, you know? That's gotta be hard living knowing that there are people in this world that would prefer that you died. And I know how tough that is because there are people in my own family that would prefer that I died. We all need to be a little bit more forgiving and a little bit more accepting of other people's flaws if we're going to continue to grow as a society. Okay, so I started my period tonight, which might explain a bit of the wrongness I've been feeling today, but
Yay, Adrastia's starting her period. So let's mark the date. Okay, so today is the 16th. If it goes on a 28-day cycle, uh, so we're looking at her next period is roughly going to be February the 6th, I'm thinking. So, yeah. Watch how close I am.
the closer to my birthday it gets, the more erratic I'm going to be. I don't intend to be, but it's I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of an anniversary reaction. My body just kind of goes haywire. I feel it as a sort of malaise, which is a feeling that something is not right, but you can't quite put your finger on it, so you can't fix it.
She's in this malaise because of mayonnaise. Get it? ASDSS? That was a horrible stretch of the joke. You're in a mayonnaise malaise, Mary.
I think the biggest problem with Mary is like when I think of Mary, I think of kind of like the Casey Anthony effect, right? So there's
Yeah.
this person that supposedly was involved in this horrible crime, and they walked on it. There wasn't a decision whether or not she did it. Was involved in it. The court of popular opinion says she was. The courts itself says they weren't. Now imagine if Casey Anthony like popped up a YouTube video and was partying, getting vodka, trying to get the world to feel sorry for her on YouTube every day, begging everybody for weed, and the level of hatred she would get. You know, I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about Mary and why she's getting so much hate. Is that there's a scenario, you're caught on camera, you're involved to some degree. There's some testimony stuff saying that, would he have ever done this without you being there, without being the other woman? Not to say that it's obviously his fault. He did it. He committed the crime himself. But
I
there's this feeling of culpability that they feel like, you want the world to feel sorry for you, but you don't feel sorry for Roberta Laws at all.
no.
She barely mentions her name. She hasn't shed one tear for that woman. She's shed tears for herself, but not for that woman. And I think that that's where she can't understand why she gets so much vitriol. Like, that's the biggest problem for Mary, is that she hasn't kind of come to terms with the notion of developing any sense of empathy herself for anything. It's all about me, me, me. And what I really thought was funny was when she was talking about the worker drones and stuff the other day. And like, well, if we all ascribe to the the cult of Mary, who the fuck would donate to you, Mary? Because we'd all be leeching off of each other. I mean, who'd be paying for your weed? Who'd be all those stupid taxpayers, all these dummies that you talk about? Who'd be giving you money? If we all ascribe to the cult of Mary, she'd be on the street with the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be Lord of the Flies, So as much as she says that we're dumb and that she just wants to exist, well, wouldn't that be great if we could all live that way? And I think that what she doesn't understand is she just misses the boat. Because again, it's about me, 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 me. And that's what makes her so insufferable. That and just excuses. I mean, she's filled with them, top to bottom. I mean, her eyes are brown because she's so full of shit. And I think that that's where the hate comes from, Mary. I mean, people think that you got away with something and you've shown no remorse for it, at least not publicly. And you're so public, you would think there'd be some public remorse with all the other publicity stuff you do. And I think that that's the problem for you. It's just very similar to what you see with Casey Anthony in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That's really where the issue comes in. People hate seeing injustice, and a lot of people feel like there was a huge injustice. And not only that, but to see somebody so publicly kind of flaunting, doing nothing but getting fucked up and trying to get the world to feel sorry for them and their plight. Well, at least you're still existing, Mary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Roberta isn't. She's not existing.
No.
And you had, in your own way, some hands in that. So why should anybody allow you to exist and just give you money and not ask questions and not give you a hard time? I mean, you reap what you sow on this one.
Nobody can give Roberta Laws anything anymore. And the one thing that I'm sure Roberta Laws wants more than anything, no one can provide her. Roberta just wants to be alive again. So, anyway, I'm going to go back to her video here. Anniversary malaise.
That's my permanent state. Well, not permanent. I mean, it lasts through January, February, and March. And then after March, it starts to taper off a little bit. But during those months, I feel very hysterical, easily triggered, easily pushed to the edge. It's kind of like, well, I just said I just started my period, so it is kind of like the first couple of days of a woman's period, where you have PMS, but it's stronger. I wish I knew a way to describe it better, but I don't. So I recently read somebody said that we often try to get back to that happiness that we found as children.
Yes and no. When you're getting back to that happiness that you found as children, what you're trying to do, you want to get rid of the responsibilities that you had. If you're 5 years old, no one expects any responsibilities of you at being 5 except to just be a normal, happy, healthy kid. So it's very hard to not go against those expectations. But Mary just wants to be forever youthful. She wants to... Peter Pan syndrome, I guess, wouldn't you call it?
Yeah, I think that in the end, she's got her thoughts. And I think that she probably was a pretty emotional kid. And I think that she probably has her own thoughts about how she was treated, whether or not that's reality. The only way you can find out the truth about that is, the interviewing of other people that were close to them. And what's crazy to me is that, Aunt Kathy is like all over everything. I mean, she talks to Virgie like every day. And I just was like, dude, get Get Auntie Kathy to get Mary's sister on. You know, let's see if Mary's sister will have something to say, because that'd be interesting. Because that's a person that's supposedly lived the same life as her. It'd just be very interesting to see the dramatic differences in perception of their upbringing. And I thought about it. It's like, Mary, one of the stories was like, you had lice for like 18 years. Well, if you had lice for 18 years, CPS be getting called. You wouldn't even be allowed in school back then. You know, they treated that like the plague.
Yeah.
You know, if you kept coming in with lice, I mean, somebody's coming to your house and be like, yo, your kid needs to, we need to do something about this because it's a problem. You know, going to school every day for what, 10 years, 15 years with lice. I mean, come on, Mary. Come on. I mean,
Yeah, even
that's on.
first time that she gets, found out with lice from the school nurse, that's when Child Protective Services is going to pay a visit to the house. Is every
Not the
not
first time, but every day for forever. I mean, come on, Mary. This is crazy. I don't even know if you understand the bullshit you're spitting.
nah, sooner or later she'd have gone to the drugstore and gotten the special shampoo and the special comb to get rid of the lice. Sooner or later, you know, the itching would have just driven her mad. After just a few days of that, the itching would driven her mad. There's no way that she's going to put up with head lice for years and years and years. This just seems like, yeah, exactly, more of Adrasdea's bullshit. Mary, head lice is no fun, and you certainly don't want to go around with that for years and years and years, because you would have no scalp. You would have no scalp right now, Mary. Look at all this hair that you have on your head. All of this natural yet erratically colored hair that you have on your head. You still have that hair because you got rid of the head lice. You were lying about the head lice, Mary. Jesus fucking
You
God.
could, if there was an infestation that bad for that long, you could actually die from anemia and other blood disorders from getting bit up that much. If it was that bad, that it was just impossible. Like you're talking about, she's talking about a lice infestation, like it's a massive bedbug infestation. I mean,
Bubonic plague. Basically,
yeah, I
bubonic
mean,
plague. Yeah.
yeah, there'd be so many other issues going on for that long to never have it gone, let it go untreated. I mean, just some of the things that she says, I'm like, okay, we got a lot of revisionist history going on.
Yeah. And you know what? While we're at it, Mary, you might want to go see a dermatologist because look at all of these splotches and these little red dots that you have under your left eye right now. You might want to get those checked out. And look at this suntan you got from being out in the California sun. You know what? You could easily get skin cancer, which could metastasize into breast cancer. Okay? We're trying to look out for you. All right? Go to a dermatologist at the free clinic, get those spots checked, get them biopsied or whatever. But, you want to stay out of the sun apparently. You look like you burn easily. So,
I don't recall being happy as a child. Everything was always so loud and angry and scary. I genuinely don't recall a lot of happiness, and maybe that's why it's so hard for me to find happiness now, because I didn't have it back then, and I don't have any memories of it to fall back on.
oh wow, you can actually see those spots as like even better with the white background because it's adding all this kind of light to her. And look at all of these freckles she's got on her chest. Not that you want to take a look at her breasts for too long, but yeah, Mary, go see a dermatologist, okay? You might have, hopefully some benign issues, okay? You don't want them to be malignant. You want them to be benign, okay? You definitely don't want it to metastasize.
People are so angry and hateful these days,
We're being
and
destroyed by our
I
own
just don't
ego.
understand. Why is it so important for people to hurt other people. Like, every day people try to hurt me, and I will never understand why so many people want to see another human being suffer. And some of those people are in my family. My aunt will never accept the mental health issues that I have been struggling with for so long. She will never accept the abuse that happened in my home. She'll never accept any of it because it's just like, it's too hard for her. It's easier to judge and hate than it is to try to see somebody else's point of view. And everybody seems to want to go towards the easier option, which is to just judge and hate.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think the problem for her is that she's wording it incorrectly. You know, her aunt and her family, it's not that they don't accept her mental health issues, they just don't accept that there's nothing she can do about it. You know, I mean, that's the difference. I mean, she's saying one thing, her family's saying another, and she doesn't want to hear what they have to say. They're saying, okay, you know, if you have these problems, like, you know, get medicine, go to therapy, go to rehab, you know, get help. And she's saying it has an excuse for everything. So
Right.
the fight isn't about her having mental health issues. It's about her just using the mental health issues and the diagnosis as a crutch to just get what she wants and just quote unquote exist. I mean, she's already kind of given her hand and said, I just want to exist. I don't want to fucking do nothing about my problems. I don't want my life to get better. I don't want to work. I don't want to fix anything in my life. You know, I just want to stay using, you know, the past as a crutch. So I think that that's the difference. Is they're not saying that she doesn't have problems. They're saying, okay, you got problems. What are you going to do about it? And she's like, nothing. And they're like, well, what the fuck do you want us to say? You know, I mean, you know, well, you want us to just keep, you know, taking care of you for the rest of your natural born life? Like, we ain't going to do it. You got to do something for yourself. I think that that's where the big battle in the Barone family comes from.
Yeah. So I may have to like flip the mute every now and then because bless Sam Stutler's heart, he's got Virgie on in the other room, and Virgie's playing Soulful Strut at 75%. And I don't know if this microphone is going to catch that or not, but we may have to go to part 4 or not. I don't know. I'm going to go back into Mary's video here.
Received a lot of comments yesterday saying, everybody has lived a harder life than you. Get over it. Nobody cares. Nobody loves you. Just kill yourself.
No, we're not saying kill yourself, Mary. No, 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 no. You're not playing that bullshit game with us, Mary, okay? And we're not angry at you. We're angry at what you've allowed yourself to become. Okay, Mary? That's what we're angry at.
It's not ever going to get better.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can, Mary. You have the capacity to make it better, but you're the one holding yourself back. You know this. No one else is holding you back. It's not AP. It's not Virgie. It's not Royce or JJ Stoner. It's not Hatman. It's not me. It's you that's holding yourself back, Mary.
And I know those things are true because we live in a world now where everybody is just so cruel. Just your own family roots for you to die because it would be easier for them to have one less person that they have to fight with, that they have to compete with, to always be right, to always be the best. You have to have somebody that you can step on to make yourself feel a little bit taller than everybody else. None of us are actually better than any of us. Y'all say you've been through a harder life than I have, but you don't know that. And I don't know that. Because I don't know what you've been through, and you don't really know what I've been through because you refuse to believe what I've been through. So, when you say things like that, you do not know whether it's the truth or not.
We know it's half truth. We know that you're telling half of the truth and you're lying by omission on the other parts that you don't want us to know about. That's what we know about Mary. So we know that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
in the end, our past doesn't really matter. I mean, the the past shapes our present decisions, but we can still alter our present decisions. So in the end, like, she's just fighting about whether or not the past was real and wanting some validation. And you're probably never going to get any validation, Mary, because I'm sure everybody's perception of it was different, and I'm sure yours was the worst ever. And I think part of the reason why you feel like you're in competition with people is because they're defending themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't throw a whole family under the bus and use them as being, these monsters, to demonize it, to grift, and then not expect people to come and defend themselves and pissed off at you. You're angry at them for what? For telling their truth? Everybody's got a truth, Mary.
Yeah.
So, and you're looking at it as a competition. Like, you're looking at it as the competition, not anybody else. You're talking about winning. Nobody else really is. And it only when you made it such an extreme level of bullshit did then people kind of throw it back at you, because they know it will get your goat. Because I mean, you're literally besmirching the entire family name for $5 of weed. I mean, people are going to stand up for themselves. How long can you just let somebody publicly put shit on YouTube talking about how abusive, your family life was, and how awful everybody in your life was, and all these other things going on, when they might not have seen that in the way that you have? So everybody's got their own perception, and they're going to fight for their own reality. So, you can fight about the past all day long, but it really, in the end, doesn't matter. It's not a game you're going to win, because people aren't just going to turn around and go, "Oh yeah, you're right, Mary. Yeah, it all happened exactly the way you said, Mary." Like, it sure as hell ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen with the internet. It's definitely not gonna happen with your family.
Right.
You know, and not one single family member has come out to your aid at all to validate what you're saying. Not a single person. Not a single person. So, you know, mm, I think that that's also part of the reason why people call BS. It's the same reason people call BS with James.
I think
You
she
know,
also she also takes advantage of their inability to use technology. Kathy is starting to bridge the gap for the rest of the family, so that Kathy is starting to learn not just how to do her own YouTube channel and not just how to do stream lives. She's also got her own Discord. She's hanging out with Virgie. She's hanging out with unknown, well, not unknown archive. Who is it? Um, the one with the Lon Chaney icon on his thing.
well, listen. One of these days,
Yeah.
Aunt Kathy's gonna do a stream, and it's gonna be like the whole damn family telling their side of the story. And then what
Yep.
she's gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean,
She's gonna bring everyone in her channel on a Zoom call, and they're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna all share their stories about you at that point. They're gonna be like, okay, well, Mary said this happened. Here's where Mary's wrong. That's exactly what's gonna happen, Mary. Sooner than you think, Mary. You watch. Kathy's catching up with
Mary,
you on the YouTube.
yeah, Mary. I don't think you want the rest of the family telling Mary stories. Let's put it that way.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No.
It's the truth in your mind because you see yourself as the best. If you've gotten through something, then it was the hardest. If you did something, it was the best. If you did it, anybody else can do it. And it's simply not the way we actually are. It's nice to believe that all people are created equally, but the truth is that many people are created different, with different mindsets and different skills and different abilities. And we have to start accepting those differences and stop trying to just be right all the time. Okay, so I wanted to talk about.
Next video is called Dry Begging, Actual Begging. Again, Mary, you title these videos horribly. You should put more words into the titles. Okay, you got a 100-character limit. It's practically a tweet.
About something, because a lot of videos I make, people will comment and say that I'm dry begging. I don't fully understand what dry begging is. If I need something or even want something, I genuinely am honest about it. I don't make things up. Like, today, I would really like some weed. This would be me actively begging for a $5 donation to go get a gram.
And you know how fast that gram will go, Mary? 10 minutes tops. You'll have it rolled up into a cone and you'll smoke it in about 10 minutes. And you'll be just as miserable after you've smoked it because it won't get you high, Mary. It's not getting you high anymore. I can tell. You're smoking it just as a maintenance kind of thing. You're not smoking it to enjoy it. You know, you should really only smoke it at kind of like the end of the day after you've had a really good meal to kind of round out the day. You know, it's like a glass of wine kind of thing. Hang on a second. Yeah, that was some of that weed I smoked earlier today, too. And speaking of, you know what? Maybe this is just as good a point since I've neglected to say this for like the past 5-6 videos. Visit cbdx.com and use promo codes AP or ROTC or 44420 or Virgie with 2 Y's at the end. And you'll get 20% off of your order. You'll also get a free gift, and you'll also get priority shipping on any order that's over $80. CBDX.com carries disposable vape cartridges, moon rocks, gummies, flour, and dabs. CBDX.com is not the gas station CBD, and it will get you high. CBDX.com gets you lifted. There, I got to remember to say that at least once in the videos, even though technically I don't have my own code yet. But I'm just trying to help out all those other guys with their own codes. You know what I mean? So you should get your own code. I'm gonna ask them if they'll make like ASDSS like its own code. You know?
for, for Mary too, you know what's funny with her is I've watched she posts so many videos a day, and you know, Mary, you talk about your medication, but at the same time, you also self-medicate. You're drinking pretty much daily. You're trying to get some weed pretty much daily.
I mean,
And
it'd be better
here's
if
my
she was doing dabs a little bit because dabs will hit her stronger. Because it's obvious that the flour's not working for her anymore.
I mean, my thing with her is that, you know, after many years of posting, you know, there's not a single video really that you've ever posted that demonstrates any symptomology of the diagnosis you claim. And that would be improbable, if not impossible.
Yeah.
So that again leads me to believe you've probably been walking around with the wrong diagnosis for a while, you know. And did you get a diagnosis? I'm sure, but everybody can, you know, anybody can, especially if somebody tells you how to do it. You know, there's a lot of people walking around that have been coached, you know, by Social Security lawyers or by other patients or peers on what to say during a Social Security interview or psych eval in order to get benefits. But problem is your YouTube channel alone like belies your diagnoses. You know, I mean, just for your own income and living off the government. I mean, you get reported in wrong places, they might start questioning your ability to not work, your inability to work. So, yeah, I've just never seen any symptomology of schizoaffective disorder in you, Mary. And I've seen like what 2+ years of videos.
Mm-hmm.
Not one glimmer. not once. You know, the only time I've ever seen you lash out and have a major tantrum was when Kathy finally figured out how to use the internet and called you out on your bullshit. And that's the only time you were upset. You know, like really upset. You know, bang your head on the wall. So I don't know, Mary. I don't think that your claims seem too valid at all. Not one glimmer of any of your symptoms of what a schizoaffective person would have. No psychosis, no paranoia, no legit paranoia, no mania. And you just have this flat affect for the camera all the time. It gets to a point where it looks like you're just acting. I mean, you always want to be a star, you
Yep.
know. Your karaoke shows that's what you've always wanted. That's where you always felt most comfortable. And it's like, okay, well, if I can't be a star, then I don't want to be anything. You know, I don't want to be anything except famous. And if it didn't happen, then I'm just gonna ride this out and have people take care of me until I'm discovered. But you've been discovered in like the wrongest ways possible.
She
You know.
thinks also that the moment that she hits that 1,000 sub mark, that her life is going to magically turn around. No, it's not, Mary. You're just going to have to keep out, getting those subs. You're just going to have to just keep building your sub count if you want to get anything out of your channel. Because 1,000 subs, yeah, you'll get super chat money, but you'll get 70% of that after a month. And you'll get what? Maybe like $7 out of a $10 donation. It's not worth it. And you're going to have to, keep putting out the content, or you're going to lose subscribers, and then you'll lose your super chat and your advertising revenue. So, Mary,
Mm-hmm.
your life is not going to magically change the moment you hit the 1,000 subscribers. It's not going to change for James Robert Clark either. He thinks it is, and he's up to 916 subscribers. And yeah, if he was smart, he would start doing the live streamings, but he's not. So,
I wish we could throttle James back down to under 500 subs and relock his community tab.
oh goodness.
But I'm fine with that. I have no problem asking for what I need or what I want. So when y'all are coming at me and accusing me of begging or asking for something when I'm genuinely just talking about something that is on my mind, you are assuming that I'm wanting something from you. Unless I'm saying, please donate, help me out, I could use this, which I am in this video. Please donate, help me out, I could use this. Anything helps. PayPal me /Adrasdea. I'm not ashamed of saying those words. So I don't need to dry beg. When I'm asking for help, I'm asking for help. When I'm talking about things that are on my heart, I am genuinely just talking about things. I am what I am.
Oh no. Did she just make me think of Popeye now? I am what I am. Well, spinach is green, wheat is green. So we've come full circle now, and she's gonna get weed with her $5 donation, and she's gonna get Popeye's chicken now, which doesn't sound too bad, to be honest. I'd rather actually have just the Popeye's chicken. But
I
Well, just to summarize for Adrasdea is water is still wet, the sky is still blue,
oh god, I caught
cat's
this.
still cat's still shit in litter boxes, and Adrasdea is going to keep continuing just doing her thing.
I am taking a snapshot of this because I caught this weird thing with her eyes right now, where it looks like she's got like transparent eyelids. Her right eye. Look at this. Looks like there's some kind of scar or something going on with her right eyelid where it makes it look like, when she closes her eye, it looks like the eye is still open. That is fucking freaky, man. Jesus. Look at that. It's like a transparent eyelid. And you can see it a little bit on the left one, too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know what though? No matter what, you can have Adrasdea James and you take every other person that's being covered, and they still pale in comparison to that truthfully Trisha girl. Wow, I could not even stand to listen to her on a stream for more than 10 minutes before I just had to like walk away. I could not listen to her. It was crazy. It's like, if you've always wanted a wife of 20 years but never got married, just go into her stream and just let her yell at you, because it just sounds like a husband and wife argument with anybody that goes in there and tries to talk to her.
Yeah.
It is brutal. She is, you're right, Stitching. She's like the ultimate. She's the mother of the LolCows. She is the LolCow by which all their LolCows have been birthed.
Yep. And that includes Shani. Yeah, so which eventually we'll get to her. So
I don't know how else to explain that. I am what I am. I'm not the manipulative thing that you guys seem to think that I am.
I think we should just like email her Popeyes coupons, get like a free chicken meal or something like that. It's like, okay, so, for some reason your video got us thinking that, we should send you Popeyes coupons.
The minute PayPal allows for PayPal and hand grenades, so that'll be her first dono from me.
Oh.
But PayPal me /Adrasdea if you'd like to help me get some weed tonight. And I'll finish up, see if we can get a little bit further in Zelda. I still have some vodka, so.
Send her a non-refundable Popeyes gift card.
But it's not the same. I really do like to smoke more than I like to drink.
All right, so she's back outside for this next video. Everybody in my head hates me. And really quickly, I want to take a quick look at my Googles. Just a second here. Ooh, yeah, we'll get to that here in a moment. I wanted to take a look and see if Adrasdea made anything new that I gotta catch us up on. Oh, she did. Oh shit, she did. Okay, so copy link, and gonna be exposing the goddamn business here. No, not my donations here. I gotta get my downloader. And I'm exposing the goddamn business. Ring fire. Oh god, you better not be doing what I'm thinking you're doing in that video. Because if you are, I'll really hate you at that point. Alright, so. And I'm going to also check in on James, see if maybe he's done anything new. Okay. Hi, are you going to help me?
Well, I'll tell you what James is doing right now. James is taking every one of his saved videos from the Tartanomicon and reposting them out to bury all of the comments about him having a thing with kids. He's just burying things down at the bottom of the community tab now.
Oh, he's burning his internet down. Okay, so
he's on a cleanup. He's on a cleanup fest right now. I think because. Can we talk about James for a minute?
Sure, since I'm looking at his community tab and he is
Yeah,
going
let's talk about
semi-racist. He's going semi-racist here. Why eating like an ape is more similar to eating like a hunter-gatherer than is the carnivore diet. Oh, James, is that a subtle little dig? Citrus. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell everybody here what they need to know about James. All right. So James is one of those people where wordplay is extremely important. And yeah, I've had lots of clients over the years that are like this, where they listen intently to what you're saying, especially if you have it in writing, and then they dissect it, and then they try to make a crafted response or rebuttal, and they omit the parts in which they can't explain or defend. And when you leave openings, like, you have to be really on point with your knowledge and facts in order to get the person to back off.
Yeah.
Which is why James, if you look at it, behavior isn't just what someone does; it's what they don't do, right? So you can't always just look at what somebody does. You have to look what they don't do. And the one thing James doesn't do is James never, ever, ever makes a video or rebuttal comment or reply to me ever, ever. Because I am as equally thoughtful as what I'm saying to him, because I leave him no room for debate or rebuttal. Because
Right.
I keep it based in facts and his own words and his own admissions. So, and his omissions and things he doesn't say. And what he does is I will post something, and unlike other people, he'll screenshot it, repost it, come up with a rebuttal, try to say something smart. Have any of you that have been following James ever see him repost me ever?
I haven't. I haven't
Anybody
seen. So
anybody ever see one of my comments that he's left in his comment section?
I don't think I think he blocks out my comments as well. So, oh God,
He deletes.
this
He
is
lets me. He lets me post, but he deletes it immediately. So what I'm saying with him is that he'll take
This
things
video
and
is going to be my
he'll take it
review of
very
it.
very literally. And if you don't come correct with your information, then he feels very confident in debating you and having a rebuttal. So, for instance, I scoured everywhere. I can't find anything where he says anything about looking for her 2 years prior, you know. And I think he's very, very confident in the notion that he's never said that because he's done his own research. You know, when he was reposting the girls that were posted on Cass Warfox's stream, he posted two, but there was three, and the one that I found is the one that he did not repost. He didn't have an explanation for that one, so he just ignored it. But he figured out, two's good enough. Two's good enough to make them look like idiots. But he didn't repost that one.
yeah.
And I know, and I can tell you right now how I know that his excuse to that one was a bull-faced lie. The girl's name was Carol Sanchez. The person that he said was trolling him, that he claimed was Ileana's boyfriend, husband, whatever, baby's daddy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
His last name was Sanchez. So he went on a stalking spree,
Yep.
looking for Sanchez's. Found this Carol Sanchez. Saw this girl, looked like Ileana, and thought she was attractive or whatever, and liked her picture because she looks a lot like Ileana. He can't explain that one away, so he avoided making any kind of rebuttal on that particular one, which is why I thought that one was the most interesting one, because it's the one that he didn't have anything to say about. And then he just kept going on about the other two, right? So with James, it's what he doesn't say is way more important than telling of what's going on in his mind than the shit that he's posting nonstop. And he gets everybody to follow the rabbit. Everybody's chasing the white rabbit. Everybody's chasing his community posts and reacting to what he's saying. That's not where you're going to find James. That's not the shit that matters. That's not the stuff that makes him feel uncomfortable. It's the stuff that he's avoiding. And when you start confronting him with noticing the things he's avoiding saying and avoiding responding to, that's when you get him very uncomfortable. That's when he tends to shut up, because that's the stuff he doesn't want you to see.
Yeah.
He keeps you distracted with bullshit. There's an old saying: if you can't awe people with intelligence, baffle them with bullshit. And James is very good at it. Same thing with Mary, very good at it. Same thing with Trisha. She's a masterclass. So when you're dealing with people like them, look for the omissions. Don't look for their confessions. Don't look for the inconsistencies, because they'll explain away the inconsistencies because they've thought about it a million times, and they'll come up with some crazy story, and it's not true, but you're banging your head against the wall because you're just like, oh man, how they always just tend to slide on out and feel like they're coming out unscathed. Well, they're not really unscathed. It's just focusing on the wrong shit. Focus on the omissions. Focus on the stuff that they're not focusing on, because that's where they're hiding all their deep, dark secrets.
This is a video that I've got on from James here. From when was this? From February 15th of last year. Look at the blonde hair that he has in this video. I don't know if you could see this or not. Wait a minute. I gotta change the screen that I'm streaming for that. Change windows. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to full screen it on my end. ASDSS, take a look at how he just looks even creepier in this. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Full screen. There we go. See how he's got the blonde highlights in his hair, and he's got this dark kind of long sleeve shirt on. I think it's like some kind of undershirt, like Under Armour type, and he's got an Ankh necklace. Which is an interesting choice because it doesn't fit with a normal cross. It doesn't fit with the satanic inverted cross. It's an Egyptian symbology here. So I wonder what he's going with this
Wait, what?
look.
I know exactly what's going with that look because he mentions a lot of times that how Eliana was so into Egyptian culture and
Of
Egyptian,
course.
lore. So,
Yeah.
this is at the point. This is at the point in time where he thought she was the ideal woman, so he was trying to make himself the ideal man.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really interesting is something Eliana said on her stream, where one of her communities was about the the eternal feminist, the eternal woman.
Right.
And James has always had, even before Eliana, this belief in like alchemical marriage because it fits into this notion of women were designed solely to breed.
Right.
So when she started talking about that, he's like, I found my perfect woman because I am the embodiment of all that is male, the male species. And here's this person that's promoting, the eternal woman. And that was a big thing for him.
Wait a second here. My thing is going all kind of crazy here. Oh, shoot. ASDSS, are you still there? God damn it. Wait a minute. Control task. Screen change windows. I gotta fix something here. Okay, sorry about that. ASDSS, can you still hear me? Yeah, because I was sharing too much stuff apparently in the Discord, and it was causing memory issues here, so I had to turn that off. But yeah, are we still? Yeah, we still got 12 viewers, so everything's going fine. I'm gonna go back to Mary here. All right.
Yeah.
So, first off, I wanted to say thank you. I received a $10 donation, so I'm going to get my weed for the night.